Yesterday, Sayadaw explained that when sitting down from standing, by noting sitting respectfully, meticulously, concurrently, one cultivates sati, samadhi, and panya, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. Sayadaw explained this example. If one understands this example in other activities as well, when the yogi notes respectfully, meticulously, yogi can discern the nama rupa clearly in other objects as well. If the yogi practices respectfully, meticulously, it will not even take 1 month, but within 2-3 weeks, yogi can attain the special concentration level as well as the special knowledge. One should be endowed with the quality srovajasada, the quality of easily being taught. So when a person is taught and guided to refrain from things that should be refrained from, to perform things that should be performed, and by practicing according to the guidance, accurately, precisely, one will gain the benefits immediately. Some of the people are complaining that the rules and regulations in Paṇḍitā Dharma are very strict. As a yogi, one should have the quality of Jovajasada. One should have the quality of being taught easily. When sitting down, one should note sitting respectfully, meticulously, and one should be mindful continuously without stopping, without having gaps between the notings. When the person is endowed with the quality srovajasada, then one will not mind the strict rules and regulations, and the person practices in accordance with the guidance and instruction. By practicing according to the guidance and instruction, one discerns correctly the cause and effect, impermanent suffering, and non-self, and one gains happiness in the practice. So it is important to have the quality of Jovajasada. By practicing respectfully, meticulously, one will not mind the strict discipline. The discipline is very necessary, especially in the beginning of the practice. And Buddha also set the discipline. Following the guidance and instruction, practicing respectfully, meticulously, one can even challenge whatever the discipline is, I will follow them. More than 30 years ago, Sayadaw was teaching in one of the Mahasi Center in the Mon state. And there was one university student who came to practice meditation, and Sayadaw taught her using the example of sitting down from standing position, and Sayadaw will explain briefly how Sayadaw taught. Sayadaw was assigned by the late Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw to teach in that meditation center. And before he completed 1 year there in the center, Sayadaw had to go to another center to teach a 1-month retreat. After coming back from the other place, he took back the responsibilities of interviewing the yogis. So he was then the assistant meditation teacher in the center. When Sayadaw came back from the trip, he interviewed the student who was a university student, and she reported that she had been practicing for almost 1 month already, and she said that she did not see any improvement in her practice. And she said that if she did not see any improvement within a few days, she would leave the retreat. So Sayadaw asked her to come forward, and Sayadaw asked whether she would do as what Sayadaw asked her to do, and she replied yes. So first Sayadaw asked her to stand up abruptly without being mindful, and to sit down again quickly without being mindful. And Sayadaw asked, "What do you know?" So she just said, she just knew it as sitting, standing quickly, nothing else. Then again, Sayadaw asked her to stand up in normal speed and to sit down in normal speed. She did accordingly, and Sayadaw asked, "What do you know?" So she said she doesn't know anything else apart from sitting down, standing up in normal speed. And again, Sayadaw asked her to stand up, sit down slowly without being mindful. She did what she was told. And when being asked, "What do you come to know?" she said, "I only knew standing up, sitting down slowly, but nothing else." So this shows that if one does not look, one will not see. If there is lack of mindfulness, the mind will not be calm or collected. The mindfulness will not be sustained on the object. There is no aiming the noting mind onto the object, not having effort in noting the object. Without these two factors, aim and effort, mindfulness does not develop. Only if there is mindfulness, the mind will fall calm, collected, and one will know correctly. So standing up, sitting down at normal speed, fast speed, or the slow speed, whatever the speed is, but if one does not note standing, sitting with aim and effort, as the mind is not concurrent with the object, one will not know the nature. So Sayadaw again asked her to sit down slowly, mindfully. So she did accordingly. In the beginning of the sitting, the body is balanced, so it did not make as much difference. But sitting down slowly, inch by inch, noting sitting. After 2-3 layers of sitting, the calf is not balanced. There is stiffness, tension, heaviness. And after sitting about 2-3 layers, Sayadaw asked her to stop sitting. So she was only in a fraction of sitting down process while she had to stop. And Sayadaw asked, "Did you stop because I asked you to stop?" First, she was at a loss what to answer. But she realized that because there is the intention to stop, stopping takes place. Intention to stop is the nama. Stopping is the rupa. When one stopped sitting, then the heaviness, stiffness did not increase further because she stopped sitting. And again, Sayadaw asked her to continue sitting. She sat inch by inch, and during halfway of the sitting, the pressure, the heaviness increased that the knee cannot take any longer, as it is very extremely pressed and heavy. The sitting down takes place because of the intention to sit, not because somebody asked him or her to sit, but because of the intention to sit, the sitting takes place. So when sitting, at first it may not make any difference, but as the person sits layer by layer, inch by inch, being mindful of it, one comes to know the heaviness, pressure, stiffness, as the mind falls on the sitting. So this is just an example of sitting down from standing position. And the university student understood this example, and she figured out that other activities should be done slowly, mindfully. So for a person who is smart, if he or she is explained by using one example, he or she knows others from the example that has been taught. And this university student, she had saddha, faith and confidence. She practiced diligently according to the guidance and instruction. So she did not mind the exhaustion of the body and the mind. She did not mind the strictness of the rules and discipline. She practiced diligently according to the guidance and instructions. And even within a few days, she made progress and she was satisfied with her practice. So, yogi should also practice according to the guidance and instruction, like the example that has been explained. And yogi should be endowed with the quality Jova Jasata, the quality of being taught easily. But if the person is practicing flippantly, there will not be any progress. In order to make the progress, one should practice diligently according to the guidance and instruction, and having much interest in the practice, practicing diligently according to the guidance and instruction, one will make progress even within a few days, and the yogi will feel happy in the practice. There are also other examples explained in the text, but Sayadaw will not explain these. Sayadaw will not explain these. Younger people who practice according to the guidance are far much better than the older person who is reflecting and thinking. The young ones who practice according to the guidance and instruction realizes the Dhamma within a short time. Noting the object with effort, mindfulness will not slip away from the object. Noting the object with aim and effort, mindfulness will be sustained on the object. The mindfulness will not slip away. Samadhi will not slip away. Sati and Samadhi, effort and Sati and Samadhi, mindfulness and concentration will gain momentum, and one will discern the nature, the characteristic. By noting the object, one should not have any expectation what experiences one will get. When there is expectation what experience one will get, then the mindfulness slips away from the object. Concentration does not develop. When Sati and Samadhi, mindfulness and concentration slip away, knowledge will not arise, and there can be wrong view. So there should not be any expectation during the practice. What the yogi needs to do is to note the object with aim and effort according to the guidance and instruction, so that mindfulness will be sustained on the object. And yogi should have the quality, jowa cassata, the quality of being taught easily. The university student that Sayadaw mentioned practiced according to the guidance and instruction, and she gained immediate benefit as well as the subsequent benefit. But if the yogi is expecting what experience will come, thinking, imagining, then the mindfulness slips away from the object, concentration does not develop, and thus the person does not discern the nama rupa. Not discerning correctly, there will be moha, delusion, avidya, ignorance, being uncertain, dim and vague, knowing, not knowing correctly, knowing wrongly, lack of moral shame, lack of moral fear, ahirika anuttapa. So in this way, the moment the mindfulness slips away from the object, the moment the mind slips away from the object, sati and samadhi, mindfulness and concentration does not arise. The moment there is lack of mindfulness, there will be moha, delusion, ahirika, lack of moral shame, anuttapa, lack of moral fear, uddaca, restlessness. So these four unwholesome mental states will arise every moment there is lack of mindfulness. If the person is thinking there is no special experiences and so on, there can be anger, aversion, distress, being discouraged. On the other hand, if the mind is elated, there is lobha, greed. And if the person is expecting good experiences, there is greed, a refined form of greed, as well as the greed can become extreme. So when that happens, when their expectation, greed arises, it is unwholesome to have greed. And if the unwholesomeness grew bigger and bigger, it can be a big hindrance to the practice. Then one will not be able to note the presently arising object with aim and effort. So one should be careful of this fact. By noting the presently arising object with aim and effort, noting respectfully, meticulously, one gains benefit of the practice. But if the person is negligent and flippant, then he or she will not gain benefit. And if the person is expecting special experiences, having such kind of expectation, the person will lose viriya, sati and samadhi, effort, mindfulness and concentration. As the person practices with expectation, sati and samadhi, mindfulness and concentration will flip away, and it will take time without much benefit. If the person is negligent for 1 minute, for that minute the person is losing viriya, sati and samadhi, effort, mindfulness and concentration. If the person is not being mindful for 1 minute, there will be 60 moments of losing the precious mindfulness, concentration and wisdom. If there is 5 minutes of being flippant in the practice, there will be 300 seconds of lacking mindfulness. And if there is 1 hour not being mindful, there will be 3,600 moments that has been wasted without developing mindfulness and concentration. So it is very important to make the time worthwhile, using the time wisely by being mindful of the object, so that the mindfulness should cover the whole object, and it is one truth benefit. So one should practice respectfully, meticulously. By noting the object respectfully, meticulously, with effort, having sati and samadhi, mindfulness and concentration, the defilements have no chance to arise. Even if the defilements arise, one will be able to note it right away, so that the defilements will be removed. And one understands how beneficial the practice is. One will cherish and value the practice. In the sitting, when the person is mindful of the sitting respectfully, meticulously, one discerns the relation of cause and effect, and one discerns clearly it is not from the books, but it is through one's experience, discerning the cause and effect. Because of the incitement of the intention to sit, the sitting takes place layer by layer, becoming heavier, stiffer, more tense. Because of the intention to sit, the new materiality arises in the sitting, one after another. And if the person stops sitting, the sitting will stop. The nama rupa arise due to the relevant cause. They are relating as cause and effect. The sitting is the effect, which is the materiality, the intention. Nama is the cause, and one understands very clearly by being mindful. When the person discerns the relevant cause giving rise to relevant effect, one clearly understands that it is not the creator that is creating, it is the intention that generates the sitting. If one does not know that relevant cause gives rise to relevant effect, one will think that it is the creator that is creating, it is the atta that is controlling the sitting, and in this way there will be wrong view. As the person discerns clearly, there will not be wrong view. His or her view will be correct. There is only the nama and rupa in the sitting. The nama and rupa are not created. They are arising as cause and effect. Discerning cause and effect by being mindful, one removes wrong view. Discerning correctly, one removes the wrong view. There will not be uncertainty or doubt. One will not have the view that there is the creator. One will remove the wrong view, as well as one removes uncertainty and doubt. And in this way, discerning the cause and effect by being mindful of the sitting, one automatically removes the uncertainty and doubt. Discerning the cause and effect, one removes the wrong view of Creator. If the person does not discern the cause and effect, one will have the causeless view, the wrong view, believing that there is no cause. Discerning cause and effect, one removes the causeless view and uncertainty. When being mindful of the sitting, one discerns that because of the series of intention to sit, the actual series of sitting takes place. The real creator of the sitting is the intention. Intention to sit is the real creator of the sitting. Discerning the cause and effect, one removes the wrong view of causelessness. Discerning that relevant cause gives rise to relevant effect, one no longer believes in the creator that creates the sitting. What really arises is the series of intention to sit and the actual sitting. The series of intention to sit is the real creator that creates the sitting. In this way, discerning cause and effect, one removes the wrong view of causelessness, as well as removing karakatiti, the wrong view of creator, and one removes icharanimana, the view that the creator is creating. So there is the law that by being mindful, discerning cause and effect, one removes the wrong view of causelessness and one removes the wrong view of Creator, and one gains one's true knowledge through the practice, and one finds the real Creator in the Nama Rupa, and one removes the uncertainty and doubt. And Sayadaw will continue to explain tomorrow.